So what's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel guys. I am David. On today's episode, we're going to do my 1-year review on the Kioti CK2610. I am super pumped. We're going to go over the implements. We're going to talk about some of the specs and all the things, my do's and don'ts, and what my experience has been, the goods, the bads, the ins and outs. Let's get right into it. I am super excited. Let's talk specs first. So the specs on the Kioti CK2610H hydrostatic transmission, which means in a nutshell, when you put it into low, medium, or high gear, you simply just press forward or you press back. The thing goes forward or it goes back. There's no gears to put it into reverse, nothing like that. In layman's terms, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not that experienced of a tractor owner. If you're new to my channel, just in case, this is my first year owning a tractor. So super pumped about that. Now this beauty here does have a 20, this is by the book, guys, also strictly by the book here. This does have a 24.5 horsepower motor, diesel motor. It has a 9-gallon capacity fuel tank on it, diesel fuel tank, and it is 100.5 cubic inches of displacement in this motor. The PTO in the rear is 21.5 horsepower. The maximum lift of the bucket up front is 1,630 pounds. To maximize the lift of this up front here though, you do have to have a lot of weight in the back, maybe even some loaded tires, which was suggested to me by a viewer. Thank you very much for that suggestion. And in the future, we're definitely going to be looking into loading up the tires. Add more weight. The more weight you can put on your tractor, the better off you're going to be. Now, the overall length of the tractor is 120.9 inches. The overall width is 54.5 inches, the width of the tractor. The total height of this tractor is going to be 99.2 inches. It's going to be the total height. The wheelbase of the tractor is 65.7 inches. The minimum ground clearance is 13.4 inches. The overall weight of my tractor with my tires is 2,701 pounds. As far as the hydraulic system is concerned, it is 11.7 gallons per minute is what my hydraulic system puts out on this tractor. Alright, so those are some of the quick specs on the tractor. Like I said guys, right by the book there. My bucket, I have the bucket for the tractor, it's 5 foot. Let's go ahead and touch on some of the implements that I have accrued over the last year of me owning this tractor. Alright, so first up we do have our Canadian made. It's a Grapples, it's a 60-inch grapple. It's an HLA model RR-GLD60. It's a medium duty grapple. The thing is a monster and it's perfectly sized for my machine, and it's just a monster. If you want to see some of the videos of me taking down trees, or tree cleanup or anything like that, I'll leave some links in the description below, or check out my tractor playlist. Next up to bat, we have our 5-foot bucket. It's a 5-foot bucket. Very sturdy. Thing is awesome. I'm not sure what the holding capacity on the bucket is, nothing like that, but it's a 5-foot bucket. It's just an absolute beast of a bucket as far as I'm concerned for the size of my tractor. Next up, we have the Carryall. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a Carryall. It carries everything. Now, I don't have a platform, like some people have a platform built up on these and stuff like that. At a later date, when the wood prices come down, I will put a platform on here. But for now, I mainly use this for moving anything that's on a pallet. Whether it be wood stacks, whether it be equipment, no matter what it is, I put it on the pallet and I can stab these 2 forks right into a pallet because I do not have pallet forks. So this works out perfectly for that for now. I picked this up at Tractor Supply. Next up, we have my weight box. This came with it didn't come with my tractor, I bought it with my tractor because when I first bought my tractor, I had 0 implements and you need weight out back, so you can fill this up with cement, blocks, stone, whatever you have that you can fill this up with to add some additional weight out back so you can use your bucket, grapples, or whatever it is you may have to be doing up front. You can put weight in this guy here. Also, it has a little hitch, so I actually use it to move all my trailers around the property with the tractor. Great little piece of equipment to have. I like it myself personally, and I don't have a lot of weight in it, but I put my chains and pins and stuff for the tractor in here, so when I'm looking for that stuff, I know where to find it. All right, next up the bat, we have the York rake. This is a Kodiak 6-foot York rake. I think I'm saying it right, Kodiak, Kodiak, I think is how you say that. 6-foot York rake. This thing is a thing of beauty. It's a beautiful pain in the neck because you actually have to take off the quick hitch to put this guy on. I have it on a jack stand here just so it's easier to do that. Now, I say it's a beautiful pain because there was a time in my life where I did not own a tractor, and what I would have gave to just own one. And if I had to go through the pain in the neck just to attach the sides and attach the top, that would have been the least of my problems in life. So now that I actually own one, I don't want to be ungrateful. This thing is a pain in the neck because it won't go on my quick hitch, but it's a beautiful pain. I will happily do it because I own a tractor, and I just remember the days of not having that tractor, man. And now that I do, I'll take that pain until I can figure out either how to buy a smaller wedge for the quick hitch or whatever, so it slips in at the top, because it's just a little bit off on my quick hitch. But it is what it is. Love the York Rake for application when you need this thing. Oh, it does such a great job. I can't say enough nice things about it. Next up the bat, we have our box blade, Kodiak again. And I bought the box blade and the York Rake from the exact same person. They had some used equipment on their farm and they didn't need it anymore, or they weren't using it anymore, or they upgraded, whatever the case may have been. So I picked them up nice and cheap used, thank goodness. So this is the box blade. I do believe this is a 5-foot box blade. When you need this thing, it's a thing of beauty. Check out some of my videos with it, guys, if you care to see it in action. This thing is wonderful, and it's also great for just putting simply weight out back. It's the reason why I don't use my weight box anymore, because I use this guy when I need the weight out back, and if I need more than this, I use one of my pallet stored bins. Check out my video. I'll leave a link in the description below and you can check that out. So last but not least, the quick hitch. So I saved this one for last very specifically because I want to talk about this one just for a little bit, just for a brief moment. I happened to pick mine up from Harbor Freight. I forgot what the price was, but I did pick mine up from Harbor Freight. And now that I've owned the tractor for a year, if you own more than one implement, this is a mandatory item as far as I am concerned. In my personal opinion, if you own a tractor and you have more than one implement, this thing saves you so much time. 90% of the time, you don't even have to get off your tractor to switch between your box blade, your carryall, all of that fun stuff. I was telling you guys before about the York Rake wouldn't fit because of this little pin right here is just a little too thick. If I can just shave this down a little bit in here, which I'm not too sure how to do. I took a grinder to it one time and it just went nowhere. So maybe I can make a purchase. Hey, if somebody out there knows, drop me a comment, let me know. Is there something I can do to make this a little bit smaller, or do they sell something to make that a little bit smaller? But this thing, from switching from attachment to attachment, is just such a time saver. Now that being said, if all you can afford is your tractor and a few implements that you may have, go through that beautiful headache of switching through attachment and having to adjust the sides and the tops and bottoms. It's a beautiful headache to have because at least you have a tractor. But if you can afford this, do yourself the favor and grab one. You won't regret it. Alright guys, so my final thoughts on this, on my tractor and my 1 year review now. I do have 147.4 hours on this here tractor, so I don't have a ton of experience as far as other tractors are concerned. I've only got like 10 or 15 minutes on a Kubota tractor once, and it was a lot smaller than this guy. So I don't really want to use that as a frame of reference for experience. I'm just going to talk specifically about mine. Now, the things that I like about my tractor, what is there not to like about a tractor? It's just simply amazing. Any tractor you have that runs and works for you, it's an amazing tractor, period. Be creative about some of the things that need to get done. Like I've had to lift up my bucket really high and put like tie downs around stuff and ratchet strap it to it because I don't have pallet forks. And I've had to stack stuff on, I had to stack up 2x4s one time. You can check out the videos. On my carryall, stacked up a bunch of 2x4s just to lift up my raised bed garden and move the raised bed gardens around. So be creative with the tractor and make it work for you. The thing is a workhorse. They're monsters. They're strong as all hell. This one is sized for my property very specifically. I only have just, not only, I don't want to say only, but I have just under 7 acres here. So we're very happy with that. Do I want more land? Who doesn't want more land? Is this big enough for us? It's big enough for now, and we're really thoroughly enjoying the tractor on this property. It's perfect. So if I had more money to splurge, and I don't, rest assured this tractor already cost us about 30 grand, just under, just to be completely transparent with you guys. And we financed this with a 0% APR and all that stuff like that. For the duration of the loan of the tractor, we had to finance it. And, you know, be clear, they just put the interest into the loan amount and then say it's 0% interest. So like they're getting their money no matter what, which is fine by us. You know, we just need the tractor for around the property. Now, if I could splurge and go back and splurge again, I would totally get something with an enclosed cab on it, just so my kids can be out here with me in a little bit safer of environment. If you like run over, we have in the ground beehives here, and I ran over a few before, and thank goodness I didn't have my children with me, because my son loves to jump on a tractor with me and come in tractor with me. He loves just honking the horn and riding along and staring the thing. He has such a good time with it. But if I could, I would love to have an enclosed trailer. When it's wintertime, you're not worried about the snow. But on the same token, I will not be ungrateful for the things that I do have. And I'm very happy that I have what I do have. I will deal with all the weather. I will deal with all the snow and all of that fun stuff. Let's take a second and let's talk about some of the things that have went wrong with my tractor. Nothing. I've had one switch go bad on me, which was the seat switch. When you sit down, there's a seat switch you trigger that allows you to start the tractor. One day my tractor wouldn't start, and I kind of got up and I sat down, and out of nowhere it started, and I was like, oh, and I do know inherently that there is a seat switch on this tractor. So I just simply took the seat switch apart, and I put a paper clip in it, and haven't had a problem since. I talked to my local dealer, and he said, hey, there is a problem with the seat switch, and as soon as a new one comes in, they will send me out the new one for me to put in, or I can bring my tractor to them and they will install it for free. And either way, we're good to go. It did not void my warranty by hotting the switch, if you will, by putting my little paper clip in, because I asked him, will it void the warranty or anything like that? And he was like, nope, you're good to go. We understand that it is a problem, and they're going to solve that problem. So also, for the record, none of this stuff is sponsored. Everything I say to you is this is just me giving my opinion on my Kioti. Kioti doesn't pay me to say anything about, and nobody pays me to say anything about their implements. None of those things, guys. Just for the record, I don't want you to think that, I'm only speaking highly of my tractor because it's the only tractor I know, and this is what I know, and this is what I like about my tractor and stuff like that. So, but the only problem I've had with this thing so far is I lost the connectivity in my seat switch, and I just had to hot it. Wasn't a real big deal. Some things that I had to make the learning curve on, we'll talk about that, was my grapple bucket up front with the third function switch to pop those hydraulics in and out. Like sometimes, man, like I'm just shoving on the damn hydraulic and it just won't pop into place, and I'm just like, what's going on? And I learned via my dealer, because my dealer has been very, very, very cooperative with me and understands that I'm a new tractor owner, and every single time I call, he picks up. Every single time I text him, he answers back. Any questions, he answers instantly. They have been phenomenal to deal with. I'm so happy I chose him. I chose that company, and they have been a dream to deal with. So the trick of the trade, and in just case anybody else is out there experiencing these issues, is the tap the toggle switch. Whatever makes your grapple go up, open and close. If when you're putting the fitting on, if it doesn't go on, tap the switch. Just don't hold it, just tap it, and then it pops right on. So that was a learning curve I had to make, and once I found out and realized that all I had to do was tap that little switch, it has been a dream to take on and off. Not a big deal. I'm not fighting with the hydraulic pressure. I'm not letting it sit for hours to see if the pressure will die down or none of that stuff. It just popped on, popped off. Thing of beauty. Let's talk about my dislikes. I got nothing, guys. Only thing I dislike is I didn't put a cab on this thing. But that's just an affordability issue, and I will be grateful and be happy for the things that I do have. So, not a big deal. I don't have too many dislikes because I don't have nothing to base it off of or compare it to. If I had to have maybe somewhat of a dislike, is I wish that it would, when I pick up the bucket and I want to dump, I wish I could dump and come down at the same time, and it would do it a little bit more fluidly. It's kind of like either you're going up or you're dumping the bucket, and it's not both at the same time. It's not very fluid. But if that's the biggest concern that I have, is that the tractor isn't very fluid, kind of going down and tipping and coming up and curling up with it. It's not that big of a deal. It's very easy to overcome, guys. So that would be my biggest complaint if I had to have one. Alright guys, so my tractor little buddy is here. Logan is in the building. He loves to get on the tractor. We're going to end this video right here. Thanks for watching, guys. We do appreciate it. Check out some other videos. Feel free to like, comment. Drop me some comments, guys. Interact with me down in the comments below. I do try to answer mostly all my comments. My channel's still relatively speaking really small, so I typically try to get to all my comments and fun stuff like that, guys. So, as always, 2 things. Do not forget to take the time to enjoy what you do, and do not forget, work doesn't do itself. So don't be afraid to get out there and get after it. Good job.